The 2026 Nissan Armada is the reigning SUV of Texas as voted on by the Texas Auto Writers Association. And for 26, this new Nismo trim was introduced. Hey, it's Corey, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and in this video, I'm going to show you everything that sets this Nismo apart versus the other trims. Let's address the elephant in the room first and foremost, the body kit. Yes, visually this looks nothing like some of the other Armadas in the lineup. In fact, when I took this to my men's group breakfast, they were all like, what is it? It was different enough that it really didn't stand out as an Armada to them. And I would assume most of that has to do with this massive grille up front. So let's start up front. Yes, we get this big prominent Nismo badge. In fact, there are more Nismo badges on this Nismo Armada than there are Nissan and Armada badges combined. So they are very proud of Nismo here on this one. And the grille is very big, bold, and in your face. I definitely would not want to see one of these pull up behind me in traffic if I'm not doing at least 5 over, because this has a lot of presence on the road and is very dominating in your rearview mirror if you aren't expecting it. Of course, the new Armada does get all LED lights, running lights, headlights, and fog lights down low, but this body kit really accentuates the sporting nature of this Nismo model. It is a very big departure from the Pro 4X, and it's very chiseled front end meant for a better approach angle. You definitely aren't going to be doing any off-roading here in this Nismo, though when we talk about the drive modes inside, they haven't left a lot out there either. Taking a look and popping the hood on this Nismo Armada, well, not a whole lot has changed, except for maybe the appearance, because we got a lot of red accents on this Nismo, including on this plastic engine cover here. You can see we do get this badge that it was expertly tuned in Japan, but essentially this is the same engine we get in non-Nismo models. Though if you put premium fuel in this, you will get 35 more horsepower, which I guess is something. And because I know Tim has been on a bit of an oil kick lately, I will go ahead and show you it is pretty easy to get to the dipstick on the Nismo Armada. Moving to the profile of the Nismo Armada, this is where perhaps you see more work put in by Nismo. Yes, the engine is expertly tuned and we only get more power if we put better fuel in it, but we get more Nismo badges here on the side, surprise, surprise. But wheels and tires, we get these 22-inch Nismo exclusive wheels wrapped in some Bridgestone Alenza tires. Get red brake calipers, but interestingly enough, we don't get bigger brakes. I really wish we would have, given the performance nature of this big, heavy 3-row SUV. It does get a tune to the suspension, which here on this Nismo model is an adjustable suspension and will raise and lower depending on the driving condition. Moving further down the side, yes, we get running boards with more red accents, so they are fixed in place, which isn't a big deal because, again, you're probably not taking this one off-road. We get this anodized red Armada badge here on the side, one of the very few places you will find the Armada name here on this one. The floating roof design is really cool, and then we get this chunky back end. Moving to the back, yes, we get all LED lights back here, another Armada badge, but this chunky diffuser style rear bumper. Interestingly though, we do get a Nismo tuned exhaust on this one, but no visual exit for the exhaust. I did kind of expect some Nissan Z style exhaust out the back, maybe some big round exhaust tips poking out, but nothing here on this Nismo. Opening up the rear hatch, you can see it is a power unit, and we get a decent amount of space back here, on par with its other Japanese rival in the Sequoia. But unlike the Sequoia, this one is powered by a twin turbo V6, no hybrid and no hybrid battery needed. So no hybrid battery compromises back here. We do have a power fold third row seat back here, and well, I'll show you more of that when we get inside. Underneath the floor here, we do have some additional storage, though it isn't a lot. We have this panel that can be removed to access our jack and tools for fixing a flat, but not a whole lot going on back here outside of the controls to power fold that third row seat down. As we approach the vehicle, it will unlock, but you can also lock and unlock it on all 4 doors with the proximity key on your person and a press of that button right there. When you open the doors, the interior is drastically different. First, we get a lot of suede here on the door panels. We do get 2-person memory seats and all of our controls. 2 tiers of storage in the doors, but as we look at the seat controls here, we do have a massage function and adjustable bolsters. You need those adjustable bolsters because, again, this is the, have you heard, Nismo model, so you might be driving this one a little more sportingly. We get red suede here, which is very nice. It is perforated, but not ventilated, heat only here on this $83,000 Nismo model, though it is still a very comfortable vehicle. We get more Nismo branding right there, and another rare use of the Armada name as we look inside. Coming in to the driver's seat, we'll go ahead and look at the steering wheel here. You can see we get a red top dead center for if you're drifting around the track, which I suppose you could do in this, but 4-wheel drive only. So much like Ram does with the RHO and the TRX, even though this is the performance model, there is no 2-wheel drive here with this transfer case. Perhaps it's a miss, especially given the fact that Nissan is a brand that is trying to play on the fun of Nismo and its heritage, but here taking away a little bit of that fun without giving you a true rear drive model. More anodized metal look here, some wood look here, a few buttons hidden behind the steering wheel, and we get another Nismo badge there. Full digital gauge cluster, full digital infotainment with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. More Nismo, more suede, more carbon fiber look accents, which is very cool. A lot of gloss black here, dual zone climate controls, heated seats, heated steering wheel, tri-zone climate, which is nice. We do have good 360 cameras here in this one, including the brand's invisible hood, which does use the camera feed and remember what you drove over to digitally place what it thinks is underneath you based on where you've driven, which is a pretty cool feature if I do say so myself. We do have this virtual model where we can pan around and see outside the vehicle. If you hit the camera button a second time, it does take you to this screen right here, which does show you the corners, makes the most of this large infotainment screen. I really do like it. It works very well for parking this big beast. The more you hit it, the more it toggles through all the different camera views, which we really like here. But moving down from there, we do have a trailer brake control, though I don't know how many people are buying a Nismo to tow. Perhaps you're taking your Z to the track and you just want something cool to do it. Right here, we do have a button for the adjustable height suspension where you can make it automatically drop lower if you want when you park, and an auto start stop defeat. A lot of piano black buttons here for our automatic transmission, and hiding under this large panel, we do have a Qi wireless charger, 2 USB-Cs, and a couple of cup holders. Very nice there. We do have some additional storage down there, another Armada badge, and then this suede accented center console cover with a lot of felt here on the inside. Not quite as what you see in the big sales leader of the Tahoe, but still very nice. Underneath here, we do have some more storage. It is damped, but not felt lined like the center console is. Up above, we have controls for our massive panoramic roof. The power shade does stop here at the differentiating points between the opening and the fixed in place glass roof. Backseat passengers get all the same materials. We get suede on the door, suede on the seats, red seat belts, Nismo on the headrests. Did you know this one was a Nismo? And a lot of space. You can see here, using the B pillar mounted handle, climbing in, I have plenty of room back behind myself Tri-zone climate controls are found on the back of the center console. More power and even more power on this miniature center console between the seats here. We do have air vents up in the ceiling, big glass that allows not only rear seat passengers to see out, but great visibility for the driver. And oh yeah, we do have a third row that is fairly easy to get to. To get to that third row, you simply pull that handle right there and the seat moves up and out of the way in a way that does allow you to leave a car seat in place. When you get back here, you can see 3 across seating. We do have a ceiling mounted center seat belt there, giving us more access when that third row of seats is folded down. But as we climb back here, you can see it is a 60-40 split, and you will need to lift these headrests out of the way if you plan on sitting back here. Big windows make it very easy to see out, not claustrophobic, and we do have our power recline controls there with a couple cup holders and a USB-C port. Coming to me, I'm going to go ahead and slide in back behind this seat right here. You can see my knees aren't underneath my chin like they would be in something like a Sequoia, because I'm not sitting almost directly on the floor back here. A lot of the compromises of that Sequoia are due to the fact that the hybrid battery is underneath the third row of seats. So I've got plenty of leg room, I've got plenty of knee room. They aren't right up underneath my chin, and I can recline, but that actually kind of makes headroom worse back here. So there are options back here to get comfortable. I could say I could ride back here, though it wouldn't be my first choice. I'm picking the driver's seat. Moving behind the driver's seat, there is this dial right here for all of our different drive modes. I mentioned it earlier, there is an eco mode here. Why? There's a sport mode, obviously. There's a tow mode, again, if you plan on towing your Z to the track, but there's a rock, sand, mud rut, and snow. So this is still, at least from the electronic standpoint, just as capable as all other trims. When you put it in some of those off-road modes, you can see it does automatically trigger our camera. But I am going to defeat the engine start stop. I'm going to take that camera off. We are in sport mode because, well, this is the Nismo. I can say, sitting here in an empty parking lot, it is pretty punchy when you set off and get going. In fact, I have tested this with a GPS race timer, and it is under 6 seconds, 0 to 60. I cannot verify if this was delivered to me with premium fuel in it or not, but I can say it does feel very responsive to the ever so slightest bit of throttle tip in. It is very, very tuned to be very quick right off the line. Driving this around in day-to-day traffic, as we are going to be doing here, it feels sportier than some of the other trims of this one, that is for sure, because it really likes to respond to the little bit of throttle input you give it. It is very eager off the line, and I do appreciate that here about this Nismo. If you're going to be as ostentatious with all of your exterior design, you should at least have something to back it up. You might have heard the sport-tuned exhaust as we set off there. It is a very clean sound, though I would say the biggest rival to this vehicle, at least as this one is equipped as the Nismo model, would be the segment sales leader Chevy Tahoe and its RST Performance, which basically applies the same principle, but with a 6.2 liter V8 under the hood, which I guess is more America than this twin turbo V6 from Japan. Otherwise, driving it around, it is a very comfortable vehicle. And oh yeah, let me turn on my massage. One thing I really like about these massage seats is the fact that they stay on and stay going for a good amount of time. They may not be the most aggressive massage seats, but it is well and good. Now, I said at the beginning I was going to help you decide on whether or not you should get this Nismo versus some other trims. And me personally, I don't know that I would spend $83,000 on this Nismo version. The Pro 4X is really more my speed, and I've also spent a week living with the Platinum Reserve. Those two trims really speak more to the nature of this segment and this vehicle outright. I think that is more the avenue I would go if I were shopping in the big three-row SUV class. Give me something that is capable off-road, or give me something that's extremely luxurious and rather spacious here on the inside, both of which those two trims are very capable at doing. But if I want something that sounds decent and definitely looks the part of the performance three-row SUV, this Nismo definitely doesn't disappoint. Is this Nismo for everyone? Absolutely not. This one is definitely very much a niche product for a niche audience, those of whom probably already own a Nissan Z or a GTR, or maybe even a classic Skyline, and want to be able to tow it around from event to event. That really is the person I think that they made this for. Somebody who is already in the Nissan performance family, but needs a big three-row SUV, perhaps most capable for towing their real toys around, and just wants a little something more on brand with the rest of the products in their garage. That has been a quick look of the 2026 Nissan Armada Nismo. If you want to see more from us, be sure and click that button over there. You can find another video that YouTube thinks you should watch over here. But as for me, I will see you down the road.